which makes it interesting. It doesn't really dissect the map in half, but it gives a lot of room for a lot of these players to drop wherever they want to. And this time around, Daljeet is going to be taking his private jet to fly over the map.
Hey man, I mean, when you've already won the league stage, all that money is coming in. I don't see any problem with that. If they want to flex a bit with the private jets, go for it. But I think he's a selfish kind because it was only him. But I think he heard us. He's like, you know what? I'm going to fly economy. He goes back to his teammates, and that's a smart move, guys. I mean, fly economy, man. You're going to get to your destination as it is, but you do save a lot of money on the way. So. But if anybody does have any first-class tickets for free, what's up? How you doing? Anyway, coming back to the game, of course, we are going to see... I mean, the plane path is towards the east, so all those El Pozo fans, all those Monte Nuevo fans, they are going to have to do some driving. But when the conditions are this clear, Blay, when it's nice and sunny and no dust storms in sight, I think that's pretty doable.
It is 100% doable, and, Vision not going to be obscured. You're not going to be seeing any massive dust storms coming in. And we do have the circle not quite there yet. Teams dropping and in the usual locations. I do envision Seoul going to be dropping to its Picado, and that circle, it's not too bad, except for the guys who dropped off a little bit too early towards the northern or northeastern side of the island. But then considering how massive a map Miramar is, they should have a lot of time to make their way into the safe zone. Now, question is, a few of these teams who are already in the circle might be envisioning themselves heading maybe toward the western side of the circle, where they won't really face off against anyone. You can head towards Chumacero, you can head towards Minas del Valle, maybe even towards Valle del Mar, and potentially loot up to your heart's content. And even when the second circle comes in, you have a very good chance of it being on you, right?
I mean, yeah, that is kind of true. But then again, we want to get that momentum rolling, right? So they might actually pick out a few fights here. And again, time will tell, because by the look of things, a few teams are pretty much heading in a collision course towards one another. But yeah, talking about those teams to the northeast, of course, at Campo Militar, we have Team Extreme, and just to their west, Megastars. Now, Megastars had a good game the last game. They got 7 kills out of that little skirmish that we saw in Erangel. Of course, they want to capitalize on that and make sure they have a better outing today. But, it can really go either way, because, of course, the big dogs are firing kind of on all cylinders. But it's interesting. I think I love the fact that, there's a big prize pool over here and that everyone is still playing. It kind of makes it easy and difficult at the same time. Easy because, all right, even if you don't finish, suppose if we have the same outing, suppose if Godlike, TSM, and Orange Rock and Synergy finish top 4, right? Then we know that people who are going to be finishing 5th, 6th, or 7th, hypothetically, they're going to pass through. But again, just to reach that point when you are playing against the big guns is going to be a bit dramatic. And again, money is something, like we've said, makes the world go round. And that is something that is not going to be let, just slip away that easily.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking $40,000 at first place. I think, I'm absolute crap at this game, and I just want to form a team with the 3 of us and just throw in a producer and just go for it. Just a chance to get the 40K. You never know; it could happen. It's unlikely, but it could happen. Right now, we're switching over to Seoul. They had a pretty good start. The game wasn't bad at all. They had the good coverage of the ridge, of the slope of that little bit of a hillock they had earlier in Erangel. They were holding on to it pretty well. Had a pretty decent showing, all things considered. And they're one team that a lot of people, and even Fixes did mention that, he's expecting Seoul to make their way out here. And 3 slots available. There is a chance. If they play the way they have played in a couple of those days where we were like, all right, Seoul look really solid right now, it could definitely work out in their favor. However, over the past 4 days, do you think they've managed to work out the kinks they've had in their armor so far?
I mean, looking at how they started this day off, I think they definitely have improved since what we saw in the last 12 days. But again, a stroke of luck is not what is needed right now, right? They need to have that little bit of consistent gameplay. Whether they play it safe, whether they play it a bit passive, hold back, let others fight it out, and get towards the end and then unleash their savagery on whoever's left. That is also a game plan that, I would be content with, because, again, win it by hook or by crook, I mean, getting to the top few positions is definitely going to help you with those standing points. And, of course, skills along the way are going to help with not only more points, but it will increase that morale, and that morale boost is something that all teams require at this time. But now, talking about Orange Rock, who are on our maps, well, pretty much right now, just driving through the vegetation, through the wasteland, so to speak. You guys were mentioning something that the zone prediction. I mean, I'll say one thing. Look, they've got a tried and tested method which has worked wonders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zero to no engagement towards the first few circles. Basically, just trying to play mind tricks with the enemy. I mean, when you find out, all right, Orange Rock there, all right, two things happen. A, you're going to be like, we're going to go up against the big boys, but poof, they just vanish because they play for those zones. And I think, call it zone prediction or call it lightning quick speed as soon as the zone changes, they are doing something that is right.
Indeed, it is. Look, listen. If you're going to be lucky almost every game, that's not luck
you're doing
at that
something
point.
right?
You're doing everything right. That means you're insane. You know something no one else does, and I think that's very impressive. You can only call out luck only maybe a couple of times, and if you're consistently lucky, you're either a god or you're very, very good at the game. We're going to be switching over perspective to Megastars, who had a comparatively little bit of quiet game, and I won't lie, man. I'm going to be a little heartbroken if Vexy doesn't get one of the slots. Meanwhile, On Top has managed to...
Not on top of his game.
Yeah, it's on top of his game. I like that. And I think it's kind of like fallen off his vehicle, which is unfortunate. And the most common thing that happens is, you kind of get off the vehicle before it comes to a full standstill. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is a life lesson. Don't get off a moving vehicle.
There you go. And the chances are a little bit higher in Miramar. We all know that this map is kind of notorious for knocking people over with their own vehicles. But I know some of you are going to be saying, oh, he must be under heavy fire. And that's what happened because, we play. I mean, I'm sure you know that we get some slack from time to time. We the adoring audience that watches, of course, they have their opinions. And sometimes I've got to agree with most of them. But at others, I'm like, all right. I mean, we all are entitled to our opinions, but I do believe On Top was not under fire in this situation. And
what is going on?
Fell out of his vehicle, and Ultron is going to join him. He's like, you know what? Don't be left out. I'm just going to gather a little bit of ill footing and come crashing down a mountain of sorts. But I do hope that they get picked up by their teammates. I don't see any fighting breaking out on the map. Else, we would have definitely seen it. But Play, I think the zone is going to be pretty slow now since we are, going to be wrapping up the first round. And I think everyone is still going to be comfortable waiting to see where that shift takes them. And hopefully we see some vehicular manslaughter in the not-so-distant future.
I'd love to see that. And I think the fact so many players getting knocked down while driving around goes to show that being able to drive on roads is a very different thing than going cross-country driving. As Soul, they hear a few vehicles across that ridge, and it is Godlike. Now, Godgill just shows a sliver of his vehicle, but they are doing the smart thing, not showing themselves, not exposing themselves to this little compound where Soul have found their home. One thing I want to point out about Team I&D as well, they seem to be pretty comfortably looted up. They're already setting up, they have the vehicles, and someone's on a little bit of a scouting mission. And Godlike, they need to be a little wary of this. They have managed to push on in, but they seem to be unaware how close they are to Team Soul. This is a fight. This is a fight that I'm really looking forward to. But right now, what everyone's looking forward to is where the circle's going to be shifting towards. Any bets on this?
I think we might just have it implode on itself by the look of things. Probably, I guess, Picardo, Landrea will still be in contention just a little bit. I think it's going to be a simple circle. It is a simple circle, so to speak. So, again, the major teams that were already in the zone don't have to move around much. And if I have a look at Soul and Godlike, these boys are, of course, west of Picardo. One team has those warehouses under its control, and the other has this little compound just a little bit to the south. So they've got to be careful. Again, the drop is pretty much nearby. I think Godlike might be in a good position to go and loot up not only that level 3 armor, but that Rapido Mark 14, which of course, in single fire, it works brilliant. And when you switch to an all-automatic assault rifle, it's basically a BFG slip play.
Yeah, it is pretty much a BFG if you think about it. A slightly faster firing BFG indeed, but I like what Soul are doing here. They're not exposing themselves. They know that they have the information advantage, and they spot Godlike. But now the jig is up. Couple of shots in the back from Regaltos. He's done a little bit of damage. If Godlike That's going to be the warning bells ringing loud and clear. Now they're aware that they are not alone. There is a team nearby. They don't know which team it is. Now, with that being said, with a few bullets at their back, they're not going to be going for the drop right now. It's really not worth it. But I say that. They got that. Well, okay, never mind. XC's like, you know what? Screw you. I'm just going to go for it. I don't care if you're going to be shooting at me. I still have my smoke for cover. And he's going to loot himself up. Picks up the Mark 14. And the MK on a map like Miramar can be quite deadly indeed. Now, Solta, hey, wait, there's another caravan crossing the road. And it's going to be someone spraying blindly. None of the bullets connecting, though. Vampire protecting his vehicle with his evil magics. As Viru, unfortunately, not so lucky. It takes a bit of damage, but I do believe Orange Rock will be able to traverse this treacherous territory without taking too much damage. Viru is stopping for a bit, he's going to be healing himself up before he resumes the journey. And the migration has started. Orange Rock, we don't usually see them in action early on, but what they usually do is exactly this. They rotate to where they think the circle is going to be shrinking towards off the under the leadership of Mavi. And he just seems to know, man. He just seems to know.
You know, two things I get off from Orange Rock right now. A, Vampire is not a team player because he could have cast a spell on Viru's truck as well, but nah. He's like, I've only got enough juice for one, but Viru does make it to his team, and they're going to be a little secure. But behind them, actually coming up pretty near them, is TSM Entity. And if I just talked about the zone, right? The fact is that the boys from Orange Rock, it's not that the prediction is good because they go dead smack center every single time and hope for the best. And Demon is going to hope for the best. That is M4 connects a few shots with that 6x latched on, and Servi's under fire. 2 magazines down, still no hit.
What is
I think it might be time to give up, but Ponsing is going to be coming in for the attack. Servi gets the better of him this time. Makes sure he goes for the knock and quick finish because Strider is bleeding. Dead is bleeding, courtesy of UME Bhishma. Now, UME, they tried to sneak up behind them, but they paid heavily for that price. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Z-God is lighting up the boys from Orange Rock.
I like it from you, Mumba. I like how aggressive they're being here. They have got the knock, although they lost a player. They're not stopping anytime soon. 420 is looking to recreate the magic from the previous game. Now, Schreider's out. He's been left for. I think he's going to be done as well. He's lying, bleeding out. There's no one near him, and he will be meeting his maker very, very quickly. Austin just tossing in a couple of energy drinks real quickly. Another one of his teammates has been taken down. Ted on his knees too. He's going to fall, and Austin's going to be left alone all of a sudden. This is not looking good. Circle's going to be a problem as well. And Yu Mumba going for the hunt. That is a massive team wipe coming from Yu Mumba. They're here to play here. They're here to play today, XP. 4 kills, a team wipe. That is massive.
They are, however, from afar. Ghazi with that Mini 14 managed to get Bhishma, and now he gets another member of UME. So their celebration is going to have to be short-lived because they have to make sure they get the boys up and get into cover. Meanwhile, we were talking about this fight. Orange Rock versus TSM Entity. 1v2. That's the positions, basically. We are going to be going up against the 2 best teams, the current leaders of our board right now. And looks like TSM might have the upper hand simply because they are on top of this building. But they do have to go in. OR is going to make sure that they cover all the exit and entry points, and they just hold their angles. Vampire is being a little bit sneaky. He goes outside the building trying to get that flank on the flank, so to speak, if he gets them. But he is going to let loose a few shots on Z-God. Does manage to connect a few, but it looks like Z-God is going to make it into cover. Vampire is going to make sure he keeps his assault on Z-God a thing because he's trying to get that left flank, making sure that he doesn't peek over that little ridge and just lay waste to these boys with Clutch God with a Molotov off his own, which does connect. And Mavi, wait a second, I think he goes into the fire. Vampires can apparently be killed by fire too. Now, I thought it was only a stake that is going to kill them, but nuh-uh. Fire does a lot of damage as well, Play. What's going to happen over here? Let me just ask you, who's going to come out on top? It's going to be
listen.
Pick one.
Oh, this is really hard, man. I'm going to say TSM. I feel like when it comes to early game fights, TSM always seem to come out on top. Now, Vampire smoked himself off, and that's going to make him a target. Look at Jonathan. He's just jumping and gunning from the air like an angel of death. He drops down and finishes off Vampire. Well, the fire might not kill a Vampire, but AK-47 bullets definitely does. And with that, Orange Rock loses a member. Clutch God is feeling it. He wants to kill. He spots a player right above. It's going to be Viru. Not able to quite land a shot, though. And Mavi playing together is going to find Z-God, trying to finish him off. But while that's happening, he actually gets a kill. He actually finishes him off. Now it's a 3v3. And I like how Clutch God and Neo are playing in tandem. In the meantime, we have IND and Marcus Gaming duking it out. But I like what Mavi did there. He ensures that a man advantage has been neutralized. But now, Viru spotted out. He's head spotted up by Jonathan. And TSM is circling this building like a pack of hungry coyotes. And Neo spots a player there. He rattles off a couple of shots. Third personing himself, trying to spot the player. Giving the information to Clutch God to push in and potentially go for the kill. He gets a knock, this Clutch God. And this is big. And now the push comes in. But Daljeet is holding the line. He finds one looking for the second kill. But he gets wiped out. And that is going to be Orange Rock hitting the ground. TSM Entity, they come out on top. They lose a player. But what a massive scalp they managed to net.
I mean, Orange Rock eliminated this game this early in the game. You are still watching the Pmpl, but, well, of course, surprises do happen every once in a while. That is a bit of a shock because I'm sure people would have been like, wait a second, this is the last game? Oh, my goodness. I thought Jonathan blew him out. But Bhishma, probably expecting a grenade, just exited his vehicle a bit too quick. Well, that grenade is pretty much very far away from him, so he could have actually survived. But Bhishma got off his vehicle thinking that he's going to do some damage over here, but his teammate is coming in. Is this going to be enough though? Because he is going to get rattled by bullets, and they're going to get taken down.
No way!
My goodness, Mumba, what have you done? That is the triple effect started by Bhishma's knock. Oh, play. They just wow. They just messed it up for themselves, didn't they? I mean,
yeah,
heartbreaks.
Ay caramba.
Ay caramba. Oof.
But you know what the good thing is? What the good news is? TSM Entity are back, baby.
They are back. They're like, wait a second, you took the last game? Was it you? All right, we made a mistake, but what's up? We are back. We are here to play and let the domination begin. Of course, 2 quick squad wipes for them. But how unlucky that, I wonder if they knew that it was Bhishma who kind of, had that little bit of a mishap. Because it just played well for them. I mean, he thought he might just get a couple of knocks when he was trying to burst that vehicle, but forget a couple of knocks, you get an entire squad wipe, and that is something. Well, of course, TSM, as you said, are back, but we are now joining a fight between Elementrix, who have actually had a good day so far, but they are going to go up against the boys from Megastars. Now, Megastars, Vexy, of course, is the guy who has been the man in charge of that squad. He needs his boys to really buck up under pressure and deliver along with him.
Indeed, they do. And Bexy, of course, like I said earlier, if Megastars don't make it out to the finals, I'm just gonna be extremely disheartened. I'm gonna be really sad for the man. And right now, Poo Man keeping them at bay. But Hark, what do I see in the distance? Oace finds Clutch God. Frankie finds Neo. TSM under a lot of fire. And Jonathan's gonna be left alone here. We might see TSM Entity hitting the ground real early. Neo's going to get taken down. Frankie finding the kill. And Fnatic, they've pounced. The Coyotes are under fire from the Hunters. And just like that, I do believe TSM Entity are now down to 1 member, unless I'm very much mistaken here. And this trifecta of death, Godlike, Fnatic, and Celts. Things are starting to look very interesting.
But it's actually it helps out TSM Entity because now their attention has been taken away from them, and Fnatic and the boys from Fnatic, of course, Frankie, OSH, and Ronak is going to be playing this time. Scout is not in this game. He's going to be sitting one out. So good little roster shuffle on display for us. And Fixes did mention that he was missing Ronak. Hopefully Ronak is that missing piece that kind of fits into that whole puzzle that is Fnatic, and they come out with something good in this game. But they do have Godlike in front of them, and Team Extreme coming up behind, and Cells on the other end. So it is going to be interesting, especially since the zone is going to be collapsing in on itself at any given moment, and a little bit of wayward wind can blow the zone any which way, and that is going to be an issue. But is it going to implode on themselves? We are going to have to wait and find out where it goes. And wow, it is going to pretty much center in around, well, just a little bit to the southwest of Chubasera, but we are going to see a lot of mountaintop action, which for me is going to make things exciting. I think we might see some snipes finally. We might see some bolt action, but meanwhile, a little bit of a stalemate going on over here while Mr. Spray falls to his rock as well. I mean, people are just falling from the skies, Blake.
People are falling from the skies. We'll have to see. It's raining men. Hallelujah. And for Fnatic, this particular standoff, it's more like they don't really need to move because the circle is right next to them, but they need to ensure that when they have to rotate, it won't be much of a problem because there are going to be so many people nearby. Now, Sangwon from Seoul running up, he hears a few gunshots, he hears a little bit of a sound, and he knows that some team nearby, and the team's name is Powerhouse. It spots them out. This could be free frags, and Powerhouse are now pinned down, pincered between two teams, but Sangwon misses his chance, and Iconic is going in for the kill. Mortal need to help his teammate right about now, or else Sangwon just might be done for. And look at Iconic, look at Power just pushing up to Sangwon. Sangwon just going to be legging it. The circle is definitely shrinking, and they want to make their way into the safe zone. Now, Record has been caught out, and he is, by the looks of it, taken out and down by Marcos Gaming as Mortal replies back onto the side of Powerhouse. Iconic on his knees for now. Viper very low on health. He needs to get some help inside of him, and Mortal holding line, but he's getting shot from every direction, and that team is going to be IND from above that hill as Maxi's going to also fall to the vehicle, and the chaos continues. This is complete chaos, and then Nade right in the face of Sangwon, but he doesn't somehow survives. How did he survive that? I don't even know, and Powerhouse gets eliminated. Mortal getting the kill, Sangwon finishing it off, and that was a fight that Seoul desperately needed to win, and they do.
And Tamalas just got blown to bits by Swag. That is going to be the last member going out, and with that, they are eliminated from this game. Frankie and the boys, they have the work cut out, however, because they do have Godlike still at bay, but they are in the zone, so they're kind of comfortable right now, rattling off shots in the distance at the boys from Cells. Meanwhile, Mortal coming under fire from Trance, and Trance is not done yet. He gets another knock on Viper. That is going to be devastating. Meanwhile, his teammate Snacks gets a knock on Evo, and Trance makes sure that he finishes that kill on Viper. And with that, Seoul is going to be eliminated from this game. The final blow coming in from Marcus Gaming onto Sangwon. So again, a little bit of kills share over here, so to speak. Not skill share. I'm talking about kill share. This is completely different. We share kills in games, but Fnatic are looking good. They have 4 points, 4 kills to their names right now, trying to get a few more in the form of Cells, who are currently cowering behind those burnt vehicles. Not a lot of cover for them. However, they are in the zone, so they've got to make sure that they survive this little onslaught of bullets being rained upon from Fnatic's direction. And if they do that, you never know. And Jonathan, against all odds, is the last man standing. In the most peculiar of places, he finds cover just at the edge of the zone. And I think he knows there's utter pandemonium going on across him, but he's just going to sit back, relax, and sip that cold energy drink.
Yes, I mean, he's got 4 kills to his name, over 500 points of damage as well. And right now, it's about a placements, right, for TSM. They have a number of kills, and now he's going to try and wait for these teams to battle it out amongst themselves. And the two teams right now,
are looking good. They have 4 points, 4 kills to their names right now, trying to get a few more in the form of Cells, who are currently cowering behind those burnt vehicles. Not a lot of cover for them. However, they are in the zone, so they've got to make sure that they survive this little onslaught of bullets being rained upon from Fnatic's direction. And if they do that, you never know. And Jonathan, against all odds, is the last man standing. In the most peculiar of places, he finds cover just at the edge of the zone. And I think he knows there's utter pandemonium going on across him, but he's just going to sit back, relax, and sip that cold energy drink.
yes, I mean, he's got 4 kills to his name, over 500 points of damage as well. And right now, it's about a placements, right, for TSM. They have a number of kills, and now he's going to try and wait for these teams to battle it out amongst themselves. And the two teams right now, right in front of him, who might be duking it out, is going to be, of course, Fnatic, and I do believe that was Marcos Gaming and Godlike. And Gil knows where Celts are, and like you pointed out, Celts don't really have much cover, but where did it go from here? They're stuck on that hillside and basically a sitting duck for literally any team who'd be looking in their general direction.
However, they've got that little cover behind those vehicles, right? So at this point, only grenades can really knock them out of that position. So they've got to be patient. They can't be coming out for picks, because if they do, this is what happens. And you come out for a pick, you get shot in the head. And with that, TSM Entity are going to be bowing out of this game. Jonathan getting spotted out by Gil. And Gil is still not done. He is rattling off bullets in Fnatic's direction. Again, if I quickly have a look and talk about well, the Celts, right? I mean, they're in a good spot. Don't get me wrong, they're in a good spot, but they are tightened in right now. They've got to be careful. They can't be a little bit too silly. And talking about silliness, Fnatic getting wiped out in the 8th position, 4 kills to their names. They were getting caught off from all different angles play. And again, they were taking a fight at one front, while the second front was pretty much open, and it was basically whoever is going to shoot at them is going to walk away with those kills, and that is going to be devastating for them. Meanwhile, Godlike and the boys, they need to make it to this ridge for cover and into the zone. Will they make it, or will their life be snuffed out?
Can you take a look at the radar on the top right? What is going on there?
Can you make out any sense?
I can't make out anything. All I know is a lot of players alive. And there's a very tiny circle. As Paradox finds a player out in the open shadow, is potentially got his meet his maker here, but Gil, he's been very quiet. He's not been very quiet, in fact. What am I even saying? He's got 4 kills to his name, maybe more now, as you do see the kill feed just starting to read off like a newsreel at the moment. Now, Encore will be res. Megastars, a team who hasn't qualified yet. As Vishy Crawl is going to get taken out in 7th position, 0 kills to their name. This is a chicken dinner that Megastars could potentially be tasting already. You know, they have 4 players alive. They're the only team that has 4 players alive, although one of the players needs to be res right now. Smoke's going to be tossed in, and for that to happen, Encore being the aforementioned player. On top of that hill, he's bleeding out, and I think he is pretty much done right now. He's going to be Elementar's getting knocked out potentially in the 5th or 6th place, unless Gil gets taken out earlier. Now, Gil somehow seems to be alive, not spotted out yet.
On top is still on top of his game. I mean, he still has those first aids. He's going to use another one. I think we might see him succumb to his injuries. Finally, this blue zone might get the better of him. Is he going to get this first aid? And he is. And now the last first aid on top. We're going to wait and watch and see how he dies, because he will die eventually. But Megastars find themselves under fire courtesy of Marcus Gaming, and Maxcars gets a knock. He gets the final blow on top, and with that, Elementrix are going to be eliminated from this game. Meanwhile, Encore is trying to pin his teammate Surya down, and now these grenades can be devastating because Swag is on another fight with Team IND, keeping them at bay, so they do have the advantage. But if they get those precision lobs, that can be totally decimating the enemy down below. But again, they can't expose themselves like they are right now. They've got to be careful. They've got to act quick, and talking about acting quick, Swag is going to go in for the kill. He knocks, he shoots, and with that, IND are going to be eliminated in the 5th position. Blade with 5 kills to their names. We are down to the last 4. Megastars still a 4-man squad, but Marcus Gaming putting the pressure on them, and talking about pressure, he gets a knock on Encore. Are we going to see them topple over here or not?
Well, it remains to be seen right now. Marcus 2 alive, Megastars with 3. As Paradox continuing his reign of terror. 580 points of damage. Finally, he'll be stopped in his tracks. Vexy's just going to run across the Tunky, and that's going to be Celts getting eliminated. I don't even know how they stayed alive for that long. But ladies and gentlemen, down to the final 3 teams. 5 players left alive. Surya trying his best, but he will fall to Vexy, the sexy, and he still stays alive. Just 1 kill to his name so far, though. And on Max Cash, he's alive. Swag all alone. They're all so far away from each other. This is looking so rough.
And talking about his name, he just pops up on our screens. He is still in this. Now, this can go either way. If Vexy gets an angle on Max Gosh, he shoots. He gets shot instead. He is going to try and go for the finish. Oh my goodness, was that a mistake on his part? But Godlike comes in, capitalizes. Marcus Gaming, what a valiant effort. 12 kills to their name, 2nd position. But the moment I said it, Godlike Gil is still in contention, and he might be in a position to do some heavy damage because they weren't even looking in that direction. And Godlike
chicken dinner earlier on, so I don't know if that's coming up. There we go. Orange Rock still on top, but they're tied with Godlike now. 33 points apiece, closely followed by Megastars and Marcos Gaming. This is interesting. And Elementrix in the 5th place. Now we're starting to see the way it's building up, right? TSM Enemy 7th place. It's fine. I want to talk about Megastars, Marcos, Elementrix, and Umumba because we have 3 slots available. Now, Orange Rock and Godlike are already through. TSM Entity already through. Synergy on the bottom half of the table, they're already through as well. So Megastars, Marcus Gaming, Elementrix, and Umumba are separated by a total of 5 points. Megastars and Elementrix separated by 2 points. That is what I want to see. I want to see how close it is. On the bottom half of the table, so the misery continues. Vishy Crawl is looking grim as well. Celts in the 11th place with 11 points. Fnatic, this is not the start you're looking for. It's not looking good at all. Synergy in the bottom there, but there's always a caveat. They're through. right? They're through. They
Yeah.
don't really need to really put all in.